Alright, hey guys, we're back with this part 2. Recording it a day later. So, we left off, we were going to work on doing the cab. So, what I have here, let's make sure I did this right. Okay, yeah, I did. Alright, so what we have here is a copy of the cab's basic design. So what this will be used to do is to cut out the inside of this. That way we have a hollow interior. And to do that, I'm going to move this over and I'm just going to center it. So this cab is now what seems to be perfectly centered now, which is what we want. Oh, what the heck are we looking at over here? Oh, it's that thing. Okay. So, first thing that we're going to notice, this thing is way too big if we want to actually use it as an interior. So we're going to scale this puppy down. In order to do that, we're going to go into our wireframe. And I'm actually going to do this separate of everything else. So I'm just going to hide everything else. That way we kind of get a better idea of what we're doing. And we're going to come into this view. Here, I'll maximize that so we can get a better look at this. And we'll just not do that. Alright, let's try this again. Scaling it down. Alright. Yeah, so apparently we didn't have that completely centered, so I was just double checking that. So now, if we go into this view, we should have that. Now, okay. Looks like we're gonna have to cut out the wheelbase here. And in order to do that, ooh boy, should have thought about that first before I scaled it. Ugh! Alright, let's make sure we have this perfectly centered. Now, we're gonna select everything, and then we're gonna unhide all. Now, forgive me if it just sounds like I'm rambling on, because for me, I'm not a professional video maker, I guess. So everything I kind of do is going to be mediocre. So you're just going to have to bear with me if it sounds like I'm rambling on a bunch of nonsense. I apologize for that ahead of time. We're just going to move that. And we're going to hide it. And then we're just going to boolean this real quick. Same process, we're just going to take that out. That way everything matches up nicely with the model. And then now we can scale that down. See, and this will give us the effect that we are wanting. However, excuse me guys, my bad, I apologize for that one. Okay, yeah, so that is going to be another one of our problems that we're gonna have. Okay. So y'all remember me talking about how with modeling it's all a bunch of trial and error. So we will scale everything down accordingly. Ooh, you know what I can actually... Ooh boy, I don't know about this one actually. Okay, get the height there. Because what'll end up happening is at one point we are going to take this and we are going to boolean this out of the model. So what I'm doing here is I'm just editing those little tidbits there. You know what, I think I know what we can do then. So I'll just move these little guys out to the length that I want them to be at. And at this point, we're just going to be manipulating the model. I mean, it's nothing super fancy. It's just a bunch of... It's very laborious, I guess. And it's annoying sometimes, so... And then just to make sure we get this correct, because at one point here, yeah, oh man, I don't know. Yeah, at some point or another, what we'll actually be doing is probably adding a bunch of stuff into the excuse me, cabin area. So, yeah. I know this series probably isn't going to really kick very much. It's mostly me rambling on, and it's a very slow process, and I apologize ahead of time for any of those inconveniences, guys. You know, it is what it is, though, and you know, we do what we can. Hide, unselected. Alright, so this is actually going to help us out a lot more at this point now. So that way we can kind of get a reference of where we want our heights to be for stuff. So we'll say that's about good. And then we'll go back into the interior model here. And we'll bring it down to roughly the same height there. Again, wireframe's gonna be our friend here. That's looking about good for what we want. Think now we'll take all of these interior vertices that are on this plane here, you can see how this is moving. I don't know how to explain this to where I want it to go, but basically, you don't want to manipulate things that you don't want to manipulate. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. And let me tell you, like, if something goes wrong and you don't have it lined up the way you want it to be lined up, then, you know, you're going to have a real bad time getting stuff back the way you want it, especially if you don't make copies. That's like one of the key lessons I have learned. No matter what you do, make dang copies. I can't tell you enough how much copies are going to save your buns when you're trying to do this. You know, you might think, oh yeah, copies, whatever, who needs them, right? Nah, you need them. Trust me. Take it from me, you need them. Y'all need copies. So, let's figure out what else we have going on here. So I think that'll about wrap that up for the way we want the cab to be hollowed out. Now what we want to do is go to our realistic view. Give me a second here, so I'll do this. Gonna get the doors ready to be cut out. So let's get to that. Alright, so basically what I did here was create the outline of a door. And what we're going to use this outline for is to hollow out where our doors are going to be. And we're going to do the same thing with any windows that are going to be, how do I put this? These are going to also be, this is going to be the same system for any windows that are going to be on any non-moving parts. So the cab windows on the front, and then there's a side window right here. That'll be cut out individually, but the windows for the doors won't be cut out, because what I'll do is I'll make the doors separate pieces that slide in. That way at one point those can be animated if they go into a certain game, but at this point they're going to be static objects. So we can work around that. Let's check our recording time. So about 14 minutes in. I'll do about 25 minutes each video, so that way they're not going too long. and I can upload them while I do this. So our next goal is to get this door lined up the way we want it to be. And we're going to do that by lining up each and every one of these vertice points where I want them to be. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to line them all up with the edges. Because if we go into our pictures here, the doors meet up and they're pretty flush with the exterior, you know, like where that top lip meets the door. So what I will do is I'll do that, but then later on I will end up making the door slightly smaller, and then I'll go back and I'll make a small little frame that goes around it. That way it kind of has that three-dimensional effect, and I can actually show you later how or what I've already done to kind of get that effect. Because there are a couple parts that I've done that on already on the model, such as the hose caps. Oh crap. Yeah, dang it. Dang. Oh, look at that. We just line it up like that. This is going to be our trouble. No, it's not. Never mind. Sorry. I'm going to quit my rambling here. So we're going to just do that. And all of these pieces are going to line up where I want them to go. And then we can actually probably save ourselves some of the trouble of having to move these vertices and creating the frame over here if we kind of just do it like this. And then I'll just line them up with the exterior ones here. And then what I'll do is I'll just move everything. When we get to that point. So that's not something we necessarily need to worry about at this very moment. But it will be something we need to take in consideration when we go and do this. So we'll line this up here. And then if I look at it like this, it'll come up about right to there. And that's where we'll say our door will be. And there's not much you can really do to line that up. I'm sorry for any background noise you guys hear. My apologies for that. Alrighty. So our main goal at this point is just lining stuff up. So I'll make this flush with the lips. Just like that. Then if we need to, we go into our realistic view and we can point those out right there. So everything looks about lined up the way I want it to be. And then we need to come over to this part. This part, you know, on the contrary, like people say, everything's gotta be absolutely perfect. Not really, guys. If you're modeling and you think everything needs to be 100% perfect, then you need to stop modeling and you need to kind of move on to something else, because what you're basically saying is almost impossible. So one of the issues that we're going to come across at this point now, when I go to create this, I'll be creating the rim around this wheel well here. And in order to do that, I might actually have to lower that, or I'll be raising that there. So, oh, and if we look at the door, this actually contradicts what the drawing says. So that's another thing, pay attention to the drawing. Because I could have saved myself so much time with this, right guys? Nah. So, this whole thing is going to be scrapped now. Because I didn't pay attention to what I needed to do. So, what have we learned, everybody? Pay attention to what you're doing. And we can actually save ourselves some polygons by doing that. And to save us time on moving certain parts, I'm just going to do this. We're going to move up. And then I'm going to go to my wireframe view, go to realistic, and we'll just place this point right there. And then we'll go back to our wireframe. And we will come up to the very top. And we're not going to touch the top because I'll line everything out. That way everything can be as almost exact as possible. And then we will line that up there. And we'll close the spline. So now we just saved ourselves a little bit of trouble on the door. And that's the goal of this. We want this to be simple. Like I said, sometimes it's just a little more simpler than you make it out to be. So, let's see what else we can get done here. I'd like to do time lapses, but I just don't see that really happening anytime soon. So I'll finish lining up this door and I'll start recording part 3 of this. Leave a comment in the comment box below and tell me what you guys think. Would you be okay with like 30-minute episodes of this? I mean, what do you want? That's kind of what I want to know. I want to know what you guys are like. Oh, 25 minutes is just fine. Keep doing that because it's, you know, it's boring or something. Like, let me know what you guys think, because what you'll be doing is giving me the feedback required that will allow me to make the videos, you know, a little more enjoyable for you guys. So I don't want a video that's just of me rambling on forever and ever and ever. Alright, so some of these might be set to 100, aren't they? Really? They're not. Alright, let's see. Is this one it? No, this is that one, probably. Which one's the one we're on right now? Not that one. It's this one, I think. I don't know. But yeah, do let me know what you guys want. Because if people are saying I can go longer, I can go longer. That way we can cut down on the amount of videos that I need to make. And we can, you know, spend more time modeling, I guess. I don't know what you guys really want or whatever. Give me a brief moment here. Alright, never mind. I'm just trying to keep the interruptions down to a minimum too, because like I said, I'm not anywhere near professional recording, I guess, so a lot of my videos are very mediocre. I don't have any real editing software that I can use, so whatever happens, happens, so there's not much I can do about that except kind of mute the mic and tell people to be quiet in the household. So it is what it is, I guess. Can't really complain. Ah, dang it. And then one of the tools we'll end up using on this is called the extrude tool. And the extrude tool will let us create our desired effect that we want. So let's see, about how far should I bring up that one vertex? Because it's at a pretty steep slope. And I don't think I'm achieving that quite yet. Ah, dang it, see? That's why I don't like snap sometimes, because it'll start choosing items for you that you might not necessarily want to have chosen. Now I give myself about that much room there, and then I'll end up probably extending the wheel well, just a tad bit. So let's see how this lines up. So we'll just move this outside. That way you kind of see what we're working with here. Alright, so we can probably lower that a little bit more instead of just having it like that. So do about there. I'd say that's about right. And then, yeah, that door's looking pretty snazzy now. And then we need to figure out that wheel well. So again, let me know what you guys think. Should I do 25-minute long episodes, or can I go longer? And would you guys be okay with that? Because again, my goal right now is to kind of teach modeling, go through my process of making stuff, and then also giving you a little entertainment or something, you know, through the learning experience. So I don't want this to be just dragging on, but I also don't want to be posting 30 episodes of this, so we will see. We will see. Alrighty. So I'll stop recording and I'll upload this.